Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, finally the day that I get to unveil the WS6 interior. But first of all, if you're new here, hit the subscribe button, give this video a like. Hit the intro! Yes, it's finally here and it's finally done. Today I finally get to unveil the interior to the WS6. It's taken quite a while, a little bit longer than I wanted, but when you're striving for something that people really don't do to these type of cars and trying to find the best materials and the best person to do it, takes a little bit. But it's been a year process, but it's well worth it, and I think you guys are gonna absolutely love it. But what I'm first gonna do before I actually show you the seats and the whole entire interior is show you the materials that I actually used for this stuff, just in case if anybody out there wants to do the same thing that I did. So that's what I'm gonna show you guys right now. All right, so we are in my basement right now. This is my guitar wall for people that has not seen it. Yes, in my former life I was a rock star, but not anymore. I gave that up for cars. So this is the material that I used. I'm going to put a link in the description below where I got it. I mean, I researched a crap load of leathers and what was the best, what some of the big manufacturers, not like GM or anybody, but like Ferrari and Porsche type of leathers that they used, and I think I found something better than even what you would find in an exotic car. So I bought 2 of these hides. So they do come in hides. You can get a half hide, you can get 1 hide, you can get 2 hides. I got 2 hides. The price of these were $500 a hide, and I went with a full grain leather. So there's basically two different options with leather. You can get a grade A leather, which is full grain. It's just how it came off the cow. That's exactly what I wanted. That's what you would see like in Ferrari or any of the really high-end supercars or European cars. And then there's also like a grade like B, C type of leather that you would see like in GMs. And basically what GM would do is they would get like basically the worst leather that you could find, and then they would emboss it with a leather grain that would hide like all of the bug bites and things that you would normally forget that cows actually do have. So like I'm gonna look right here, like right here, I don't know if this will show up on camera, that right there is a bug bite. So that the cow was bit by something and it scarred his skin. So that's a part of the leather that you wouldn't use. So it does take almost 2 full hides to do what I did with the seats and the door panel, because you're just trying to cut out the best parts of the leather. Like here's the very ends of the leather, and you can see that's where you're just getting all your texture and your stretch marks. But when you get towards the inside of the leather, that's where you get your like perfectly smooth leather. But yeah, so this is about the best leather that I could find for what I wanted to do. So yeah, right there was $1,000 for that. And then I did Alcantara inserts on the seats and the door panels, which right here, you can see it's like an Alcantara suede. It is real leather, but it's sort of like a suede material. And if you get up close, we had it perforated with the same perforation that they would use on the OEM GM stuff. This right here, I think it was $100 a yard, and we got 4 yards of it, so that's 400. So you're talking $1,400 for that. And then here is the door panel. I left one off just to show you guys. I wanted to really put it on, but I wanted to show you guys up close on how this thing looks, and it turned out, in my opinion, better than it's pretty crazy how good this looks. So everything is covered in leather except for this part and this part. This part, the reason being is that there's too many curves in it that it just wouldn't look right. And another reason being is because you can't cover this, because this is more of like a rubbery substance, or it is rubber, I think. If you put leather on there and then you indent it, the leather's going to stretch and be all saggy. So to my opinion, it looks best if you don't cover that, and if you don't cover that, it almost looks better if you don't cover that too, so it's meant to look this way. But what is covered is all of this, all the way around, and then we did the Alcantara insert. So as you can see, I mean, this, it just gives it a very high-end look that I wish GM would have gave the option for. And the inside, I had tons of questions on this because people are afraid to do this, and it sort of is a pain. The way that GM did this is they basically plastic welded this insert inside, so you have to drill that out to get this out, and then you cover this separate, and then you have to re-plastic weld it, which it looks like crap, but there's no way to do it, and you don't see it anyways. You have to re-plastic weld all that back together in order to get it to look right. Then you're basically just wrapping the leather around. I know a lot of people's like, oh, it won't hold up to the heat, like everything's gonna sag after a while, but you guys have to realize that on newer cars, if you buy, say, like the Track Hawk with the leather package, that's exactly what they're doing. They're just covering all the plastics and leather, so it's the same exact thing. So if you clean your plastics right, and you use the right kind of leather and adhesive, it's going to last as long as the life of the car, or probably longer than the car itself. What I did do, though, and I had tons of questions on this as well, is I had the notorious crack up here that all 98 or April of 98 through 2002 WS6s have. Just crappy plastic. So we tried to fiberglass it, and it looked great, but when you started stretching the leather around it, the plastics actually re-cracked even though we fiberglassed it, and it wasn't good. So luckily my upholster person, which is Philip Anderson, he's the best, I feel like, in the business. He found me these door panels from Cleveland Power and Performance right down the street. If you don't know them, give them a follow. They do some really cool stuff. They're pretty world-renowned when it comes to Hellcats and Dodge vehicles. And I think they're up to like 100 wrecked Hellcats. It's pretty crazy. So if you need a Hellcat engine, hit them up. But they were that ugly GM gray color. But it doesn't matter because we covered them in leather. So these are my leather door panels. And now let me show you what it looks like on the car. All right. And here we go. The lighting in here might suck, so I have my sunlight. Basically what sunlights are for is to see swirls and stuff in the paint. As you can see, this car is really dusty right now, but hopefully this will come across pretty good. If not, I'll redo it for you guys, but I just wanted to show you guys really fast and how good this looks. So that is how it looks. And there's the sunlight to sort of give you a example. Like I said, sunlights are going to show every single flaw. So if it looks good under a sunlight, it's going to look ridiculous anywhere else. So I mean, I just absolutely love this. And then here are my seats. So this will give you a good example of when it's stretched out, how good it looks stretched out. He did a phenomenal job with the sewing. There's no wrinkles or stretch marks. And then this is what I was talking about right here. We did Alcantara inserts, just like you would see like on the new Trackhawks and the Dodge Demon. It just feels so much more comfortable. So it sort of gives you a luxury of having cloth, but in a way better material. Just, I mean, it's still leather. Just gives you the grippiness of cloth, but the looks of leather. And then here are my seats. And I'll throw in some pictures too. That will help you guys out a lot better to give you guys an example of what they really look like. And then we did the same thing with the back seats. So the only thing we haven't wrapped in leather yet is the plastics over here, which that's coming soon. And then we're gonna redo, even though the headliner is perfect in this car, I think it would be really cool to do a non-perforated Alcantara for the headliner. And then we can also do the sun visors too. Another thing that I'm planning on doing here very, very, very soon is redoing the steering wheel. If you guys have any good examples of aftermarket steering wheels, I'd be open to it, but I do like the look of OEM, but I don't like the look of OEM when it comes to this steering wheel. So what I was thinking about doing is next winter sending this to a company to at least, and I'm going to sit this light down, maybe this will help a little bit. These steering wheels are so skinny, they just feel weird in your hand compared to the newer steering wheels. So I'm going to send it to a company so that they can add a little bit of girth. And then I was thinking about doing spots of Alcantara, maybe making a split here to the split down here, making this Alcantara, then doing leather on the tops and bottoms, and then maybe incorporate a shift light like some of the newer Corvettes you've seen. If you look at Street Speed's videos, he's got a new steering wheel with a shift light in it, which is very cool. And then I also did the Alcantara shifter boot too, just to match that. Up close you can see how awesome this looks. But what I didn't change yet, which I got to figure out what I'm going to do with the shift handle. I have a factory shift handle there, so it's leather and then it matches the Alcantara, which you would think wouldn't look right, but because the seats are the same way, it actually does look pretty good right here. And then I also did the Dynamat over there. But probably the last thing besides that, under the sunlight you can really tell I'm having a brain fart right now. The glove box in the center console on all GMs never matched the plastics. So I'm thinking about recovering that too, just so it matches a little bit better. But guys, it's coming along. The weather is finally getting better, so I hope to have these things out come spring, which is next week. Actually, spring, the first day of spring was yesterday, so I'm hopefully have these things out coming up this week. And especially with the coronavirus stuff, I'm working from home now, which I am working, but it will give me a chance to really be able to get out unless they close down the roads, which I'm hoping doesn't happen. But I did want to show you one last thing. What did I do with my light? My light's over here. On the Viper, as you can see, I already showed you guys this before, but I did add another piece. I did the carbon fiber for the wing, the carbon fiber air intakes right over here. I did carbon fiber splitters down there with the air intake carbon fiber over here. But I did do this 2 weeks ago. I don't think I showed you guys yet, but I did the carbon fiber rear taillight surround, and it makes such a difference. It gives it that very exotic look. I mean, you never see carbon fiber like this on anything unless it is like a Ferrari or a Lamborghini of some sort. It's looking really good. And then I also did the Toro R8 or Toro R888R tires. On the WS6 I have the NT05Rs. We'll see how I like these. I might switch that out. But yeah, it's coming together, and I'll be able to finally have this on the road and then show you guys what it can do. Do have to take it to Big 3 Racing. They're going to retune this car. When we tuned it, it was like February, and it ran great, but when you get out in the hot summer, the tune, it's a little off, so it's running a little rich. So I'm going to have it tuned in the weather that it's actually going to be in. So they need to redo that. But the Viper's ready, and then I have been driving the Hellcat. But yeah, we're finally here. Corona's putting a little bit of bummer on some things, but it's all right. We'll make it through it, and stay home. Social distancing, very, very important. But if we do all that, we come together, then we'll be able to finally get out of this mess and enjoy our cars and go to meets. So thank you guys for checking out this video. Like I said before, I promised that I would only try to create, in my opinion, good content. So hopefully you like it, and know that when a video comes on, it's hopefully worth watching. It's not just lip talk. So, all right, guys, till the next time, check you later.